Hey, Happy Crew, Happy Days. So in today's video, we are doing some TM accessible teams for the upcoming TM that has Kaku and Lucci. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the teams. These are kind of the teams I have built for all the different mini bosses. Talk about them real quick. So the S-Bear team hasn't really changed. Zoro's a free-to-play unit that we got. You should have him. Just go over the gimmicks real quick. Again, the CD Rewind is the big gimmick there. Zoro special will take care of that, as well as captain ability triggering that automatically, and also gives him a Wano slot to get us through that. So again, you don't have to worry about it. Shouldn't be an issue. As long as you have the Zoro, you can throw whatever boosters you have on here. You want them to be int, obviously, because it's a side boss, but do that and you're going to be golden for S-Bear. In terms of S-Shark, again, there's a lot of gimmicks here with the paralysis and with the chain down, but the crocodile handles all of them. So as long as you have this crocodile, you can literally throw any other cerebral type units that are on here to just take out the quick boss there. He does boost driven and cerebral, so typically any dex driven or cerebral will be perfect for this team, will help you out there. For S Snake, which is kind of the tougher fight, so again, we're using Gear 5 Luffy to get around that. You have to have 3 of the Straw Hats on your crew to satisfy the super type condition to be able to get through the barriers and the damage threshold. So we have Zoro, Robin, and Sanji on the team, and Momonosuke actually will trigger that requirement as well. So what I'd probably recommend on this team is you can actually replace the Sanji completely with someone else. Typically, if you have someone who's a free spirit red unit, who is a higher point booster, like if you have this Garp here, you can certainly throw that Garp in the space and you will be good to go. I do have the Higoro support on Luffy, so the Robin here can only take care of 5 turns of the damage threshold on the last stage there. The Higoro will take care of an extra 2 for the total 7 that are there. We'll take care of that for you. The captain ability of the Luffy will go ahead and take care of the bind, so you don't have to worry about that, which is really nice. And then you just have to basically get through the threshold and the damage nullification. Super type gets through that, so you don't have to worry about it. And as I said, Robin takes care of 5 turns of the attack down, and then you have the Higoro support who takes care of an extra 2 when you reach that final stage, which just works really well. Should get you through pretty quick. Obviously, like I said, you can replace the Sanji unit with anyone who's red and boosted. In my teams that I showed yesterday, I was using really Ingabon and Roger. But yeah, any red unit who's free spirit will be great to place in this slot right here. Heading over to S-Hawks, so this is a team that we're using. So we are using the Roger captain and friend captain just because he's able to get rid of the special bind that you get on the boss stage. You get left column, 6-turn special bind. Captain will completely remove that special bind. Next, you'll get 4-turn cooldown on your right column. So what we're doing here is really all the specials that we want to trigger. We're going to have either on the left column, which is what we do, or you could have a cooldown reducer on the left-hand side that will help you do that, whatever way you want to do that. But in our case, because there's only a couple gimmicks, we're putting all our special dealers that we need on the left-hand side, so that way we don't have to even worry about that special reverse that's happening. So going into that, we don't have to worry about the special reverse. For the changing the slots, so we're using the Hiyori unit just because 1, she's a slasher and there's a weakness versus slashers, and 2, she'll give us a full board of Wano orbs, which just help us get through that content pretty quick. And this Carrot and Wano unit here can help us get rid of the increased defense, which is just a bit of a pain in the butt to deal with. So instead of having to worry about getting rid of the 6 turns of increased defense, we just execute the Carrot Wanda special, and boom, we got through the defense. As I mentioned, we have the Wano slot here to take care of the slot type attack down. And yeah, at that point, we'll be golden. Like, we should be able to cruise through this fight. If you don't have this Roger unit, you could also use the Nami and Carrot unit as well. Their swap will allow you to get rid of the silence bind, and their special will help get rid of the special bind on everyone else. But I figure more people probably have that Roger unit than they do the Carrot Nami unit. So another option for you, but we're going with the S-Hawk unit here. So now we get to the really hard fight. So on the Lucci and Kaku fight, we are going to be using a int Captain G5 Luffy. And then for some of the supports, we'll kind of go over it real quick. So just a quick refresher of what happens. You want to have strength, quick, or int units on your team. So one note there, the Nami and Karina, you want to make sure that you start off that unit in the in the Karina form. That way you can swap into Nami. So what happens on stage 2? So you get the special rewind 1 turn, block slots, you get a blow away on the bottom row, you get no 1 attacks only, you get a barrier, and you get paralysis. So thanks to the Vegapunk unit, we're able to get rid of the CD rewind as well as the paralysis. We're able to use the super swap of the Nami Karina to be able to change our slots for adjacent characters. So that'd be Luffy, the Vegapunk, and the King at the bottom there to be G-Orbs, so it'll just help us get through there. And basically, the Nami special can get rid of the barrier as well. So we might get one of our units blown away at the bottom. That's kind of the big downfall there. Now, this king that I'm using here, I'm using him because he is a int unit, and he is also powerhouse, so he'll get boosted by the Lucy's captain ability there. So that's what we have him there for, and he has a sailor ability to not get blown away. And what we can actually do when we get to stage 3, he's actually critically important. So just note that you might get your Pythagoras blown away. Completely okay. You don't actually need Pythagoras for anything on here. You could actually swap him out with any unit that satisfies Stussy conditional. That's really what you need to do to be able to get through this content, and that's why he's on this team. So if you don't have this Edison and Pythagoras here, just throw any unit on that meets Stussy's super type requirements, which is basically any of the Vegapunk units plus a couple other units here. So that will get you good and golden for stage 2. In terms of stage 3, so you get 9 turns of despair, so the capability of the Luffy will take care of that. In terms of the block orbs, you're going to have the super type of the Stussy unit, which will take care of that for us, give us matching orbs. Stussy special will give us a 5-turn reduction of the barrier, so we'll take care of that. You do get a CD rewind on the top row. So that's just one thing to note. That's why we have this king at the bottom here. The king ability here will basically reduce special cooldown of driven and powers characters by 2 turns. And lucky for us, Stussy's driven. So it actually works out perfect. He can't get blown away, and then he can use the special to give Stussy back her special. And also, we probably won't even need the Luffy special. If we get to trigger it, there's probably no harm in actually triggering it, but we have the Peckham support on here just to help out. So when we get inflicted with paralysis special rewind, it will basically give you 3 turns special rewind there, which is just let you be perfect and ready to kick off the special if you want it. I don't think we'll really need it, but it's there in case we need it. So yeah, so we have the king unit who will help get the cooldown back for our units, and then basically we'll just attack from there. Pretty easy. I don't think there'll be too many problems here. Of course, you do need the Peckham support. We have the Mr. 3 Miss Golden Week support on the king unit at the bottom there just to get our specials ready sooner. But that's kind of how we're going to go here. So moving on to the invasion boss, which is probably the hardest out of all of these. So let's just take a quick look at some of the gimmicks. So it's really tough how you build these teams. So in the case of the previous fight where we're using Stussy on stage 3, we're actually going to use Stussy on stage 2 here. When her captain ability will remove this damage from healing, it'll get rid of the bleed for us. We have the Vegapunk unit's potential ability, who'll get rid of the special limit usage for us, which is great. We have the 9 turns of bind, so we're using the Shanks unit here. As part of his special ability, he will get rid of 10 turns of bind, so we don't have to worry about the bind there. In terms of the bomb slot, so the sailor ability of the Vegapunk will make sure that we're able to go ahead and make bomb and super bomb slots beneficial. So we don't have to really worry about the bomb slots there. You do get 1 turn lock on the slots, which is fine, it is what it is. Obviously, when you use the special of the Stussy, you'll have to delay the enemy by 1 turn, so you can't kill him on the first turn, which is kind of the pain in the butt here. But it is what it is. So we use the Stussy special, delay the enemy, kill them the 85% the first turn, and then kill on the second turn. Now, you do get a death hit on there, 50k. So what we're doing to get around that is we have the Hina unit there. We'll use her. As part of her special, she will give you the 80% damage reduction. So we should be good and not trigger that nasty debuff on the final stage there. So let's take a look at that final stage real quick. So you get a 1-turn reduction on the top row. So in our case, we already used the Stussy special, so that's not a big deal. You don't want to use the super type until this stage because you want to be able to change those block and bomb slots to matching. So on stage 2, you use the Stussy special, but you won't use the super type of Stussy until stage 3. In terms of getting to the damage threshold, that's why we have the Pythagoras unit here. He'll be able to go ahead and take care of 6 turns for us on there, and he just does that really well. And then just scroll down to some of the other issues that you see here. He is going to blow away 1 character in row 2. So you just want to be careful there. You don't want your characters to get blown away on you. But actually, now that I think about it, I can actually swap the positions of the Orochi and the Vegapunk just to make sure that Pythagoras actually doesn't get knocked out if they're taking that unit out there. So let's look at some of the other gimmicks here. So yeah, and then you have the 9 turns of poison, but like I said, the super type will let you apply that poison there. So then the only other thing that you have to worry about on stage 3 is really that death hit. So that's why we have this Robin unit here. She's a cerebral int unit, so should be able to do some additional damage there. And her special will basically give you will give you 100% damage reduction from Psi enemies because Orochi is a Psi enemy. It just works out really well to get through there and don't have to worry at all about that death hit. So that's kind of the different teams that I'm using. I am throwing the Mr. 3 and Miss Golden Week support again on the Robin unit just to make sure she is ready to go for that last stage. And yeah, that's pretty much the teams that we're going with. All theory crafted, so I reserve the right to say some of these teams might not work, but at least these are the kind of different teams I come up with that you could use that don't use some of the latest legends that I have out there. Maybe you haven't pulled in a couple of Sugafests. These are much more accessible teams. So that's going to wrap it up today. Of course, let me know in the comment section below what you think of some of these teams. Do you think I have any better replacements that might be on there? I might end up actually throwing some extra support, especially on the invasion fight, just to do some more cooldown reduction. We'll just let us get through there and get through the content a little bit quicker. So that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. And until next time, be kind to each other.